Hi everybody, it's Shelley. Welcome to the bookshop. Today I'm going to talk about avocado dyeing. I have some laces here, but I also did a lot of papers. And I am by no means an expert, but I do have to say, in my opinion, my stuff came out just almost perfect. So I'm just going to show you the results. This is not a tutorial, but I also do have some tips if you're interested. First I'll show you the laces, then I'll show you the papers. I do have, my first tip is after you've cut your avocados in half and got the pit out, scraped out the pulp, some people just throw them in a pot of water and start boiling them, which is perfectly fine. You have to strain it then to get all the little pieces of goop out so they don't get on your paper. So if you want to skip the straining step, which I did, I scrubbed the inside of my avocados with a scrubby sponge. I used this for, scrubbing the floors if I spill something, a stove, refrigerator. So it just has a fairly soft, you don't want anything real rough, scrubby side. They're cheap. It worked great. I did a really good scrub job, but my water came out clear, perfectly clean, very little, if anything, floating around in it. So it doesn't really reduce the steps because you have to scrub instead of strain, but I thought it was well worth it. So now I want to show you some of my laces. First, I will start with these flowers. I love these. I think they came out so pretty. I hope the color shows up. I'm using a white background thinking that would help. Here's the original color. These roses were cut off like right around in there, but it's kind of a creamy color. And I did soak these overnight. So the longer things soak, the better the color. So we have this little, what is this called? Like eyelet, I think. Now everything I thought came out perfect. This one lace here has some kind of spottiness to it. There's some darker spots and lighter spots. This is the original. It was very white. And these laces are all different. I'm not really sure if anything is cotton. I know cotton is supposed to dye really well, but I have nylon. I definitely have polyester, and some of these, this might be a cotton, but these days, I think something is cotton and it's polyester. So anyway, you can see how pretty that turned out. This one, a very light, that it took the color. This one I'm sure is polyester or something. This one actually feels kind of almost plasticky. I'm almost certain it's not cotton, but beautiful. The colors is dark in my opinion. It's not, some of the videos I've seen, things come out with so little color. I mean, they have that very light pale pink color, which is just fine. But if I'm going to do the work, I want it to be obvious that I did the work. Isn't this pretty? It's almost like a mauve, dusty rose. A lot of people call this color. It's perfect. I love it, love it, love it. Same with this. Now this one, I think it could have been pinker, but I did 2 batches of these roses, and the first batch I didn't realize, because of the kind of creamy color of it, I had coffee dyed them already. So I threw them into the color, the water, and it kind of made it a brownish color. And I also threw this in there. So it is definitely pink, a vintage looking dusty rose, but I think it might have come out a lot pinker if I hadn't had the coffee in there also. I mean, that's just obvious that I would have. Now I have a bunch of this almost identical lace from the Dollar Tree, and the spools say cotton. This one I got at Joann's, and it said polyester. So I don't know for sure. This is a Dollar Tree one, and it says cotton, but this did come on a roll that said polyester, even though they're pretty much identical. Okay, this one, did a lot of this. It came out very well, and it has a little yellow, well here, this is what it originally looked like. It's white with a little yellow trim on it. It's one of my favorite little ones to use on the edge of a page. It's delicate and it just adds a little. So there's that. And then this one, which really took the color, makes me think this one's probably cotton, because it is definitely a nice mauve, dusty rose color. And then the last one, this nice, big, beautiful piece of lace. This is the original. And one thing I noticed, which I would have thought it was the opposite, the shiny parts are the parts that get darker than the non-shiny parts. The edges of the roses are shiny. And so I was surprised to see that the edges are darker and the inside, where it's all shiny, has a lot more of the pink color compared to this part. So beautiful though. I coffee dyed some of this too, and it looks beautiful coffee dyed also. So those are all of the laces. I want to get this stuff out of the way so I can show you the papers. And also I'm going to show you some of the liquid. Here's a bunch of the papers. And first I want to show you this liquid. This is what my water looked like after I boiled it. It's kind of brownish color. It looks like tea to me. This is what it looks like now. Look at this kind of ruby red color. And these are the same batch of water. I cannot explain it. I don't know why it does this. It must have something to do with the paper, because this happened with both batches. Now I boiled these avocados yesterday. Oh, by the way, both batches I used 3 avocados. That's more than enough for a good sized batch of water. Some people only use 2. I think it's obvious that the more you use, probably the more water you can get. You can use 1 avocado if you just want a little bit. I've done a ton of paper. This is all yesterday's batch, and I'm obviously still working on today's batch, and I have a lot. And I just keep adding this to here, and it turns red, you know. I can't explain it why this is not turning red, but it will when I put it in here and I add paper to it. So this is what it looks like. Don't boil it until it's red, if that's what you're expecting. I don't think it will get red. My first batch I boiled for about 3 hours. My second batch I only boiled for 1.5 hours. And I got this nice dark color. That's when I took it off, let it cool down, poured some in here, and I just put my papers in. Now this is my first batch of cardstock. Everything I did before was the just computer paper. And now this part I got from Junk Journals and More. I'm sorry, I don't know her name. I forgot to write that down. But what she does is she dips in a piece of paper, and I don't take it out. She dips in a piece of paper and then lays it down. And then she dips in another piece of paper and lays it down on top of the other one. And she stacks them up until she has 4 or 5. And then she leaves them sit there. That's so the color can start to change, for one thing. Well, her water looked red already, but it gives it time to start absorbing into the paper. And then she cooks hers. I did not cook mine. I would put my 4 or 5 pieces of paper into the water and just leave it there. Leave it for a couple hours. Now my first batch yesterday is this one, which came out. I love it. It's perfect. It's a really pretty light pink, dusty rose. These are the ones I did in the afternoon and in the evening. And then the last batch, I had another. These are a little darker because as the color in the pan, as it starts to turn redder, because it gets redder and redder. When I did this first batch, that water did not look this ruby red color. It actually didn't look that color until I woke up the next morning and I came out to the kitchen. I was like just blown away to see that bright red color in the pan. I had left these papers in there overnight. There was only 4, I believe, or maybe, now I'm not even sure. I think it was these. Can you tell which are darker? No, I think these are darker. Anyway, I left them in overnight so they could get really rich color, which they did. Same with these 2 index cards. I just had them sitting on the top. And also the big piece of lace. I had put this on top of the papers, and then I had put the couple of index cards on top, and I left it all sitting there from 4 a.m. till noon the next day. And that's how I got this beautiful, very dark color. Now here's some that were in for maybe 3 or 4 hours. They're very, very light. And it takes a long time for index cards to soak up the color. But these are very nice. I like them. I just wanted to see if I could get a couple nice dark ones, so I did that. So those are yesterday's. And now today's, they're just, I think they're a little darker. I put a dozen pages in last night. These still aren't quite dry because I don't put them in the oven. I just lay them out in piles of 4 or 5. And I keep turning them so they'll dry like that. Turn them over. And the water stays in there. You're not drying it out so fast, so it gets darker and darker. Look at this beautiful color of this piece. And the edge, I think that happens when you're, see, I would have been holding it like this and dripping, and so it's got on this corner. Some of them it's on more than one corner. This one has these little spots, which I really like, but my papers seem to come out almost too perfect. But I've been trying to splatter them a little bit, maybe see if I can get some color on them. Anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to give you the advice, the tip about scrubbing the skins, and also not boiling your water until it turns brown or red. When it looks like tea, it's ready. And then this beautiful red cover. Have patience, I guess, is the main thing. Have patience, because the longer you can wait, the redder your water will get and your papers. Now this is cardstock. It's taking a lot longer to turn. I think I'm going to take these out though. Look at how pretty that is. It's a very pink color, so they'll probably dry about this color, maybe a little lighter, maybe not, because they get darker and darker as I sit there. I got to get these out. I know a lot of people don't like to pile up their papers in the water. When I first started coffee dyeing, I saw people do that, and I was afraid they would stick to each other. First of all, I didn't have one piece of paper rip, so I don't know. It seems almost like there's a layer of water in between, and then you put a piece of paper, and then there's water. They don't really stick together as badly as you might think. They were fairly easy to get out, and if they're kind of sticking together in the pan, you can pull out the whole clump. Take the whole stack, let it drain off, set it down, and then, you know, take some time, or as they dry, they'll be easier to pull apart. It's good to leave them sitting stuck together for a while. They're just going to sit there and kind of saturate the color in more and more. So I think that's it. Try the stack method. Stack them up. Have your stacks after you've soaked them. Let them just sit. Mine sit all night. You can let them sit for an hour, 2 hours. You can put them in the oven. See what works best for you. I just wanted to show you that I got this gorgeous dark pink. I hope it's showing on the camera how really dark this color is. This is not a very light coloring that I got. I got a very dark coloring. Even my lightest ones look amazing. Oh, here. Yeah, this is the white. These are the, let me see. This is my first batch from yesterday. Some of the lightest ones that I have, and still, you know, good coloring. But this was before I learned, you know, it was going to turn red. This is from before it turned red. Okay, well, I think that's it. I hope I told you everything I was thinking about. I showed you everything, told you to scrub them. The longer you wait, it'll turn red. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, well, thanks everyone. If you liked the video, please let me know. I'm still really new at this, and for those of you who don't know, I had one of my subscribers tell me that they didn't realize that if you click on the bell at the top of the screen, it's not where all the other symbols are, it's at the top of the screen, you get notifications of when I post another video. So if you want to see that, oh, I'm supposed to do my eco print papers. Maybe I'll do those too now that I have everything set up. I've been promising that since my last video. So those came out amazing too. Can't wait to show those. I'm nervous when it comes to doing a video, so it takes me a while to get going. Then I can't stop once I get going, as you can see. Okay, so I am going to go. Okay, everybody. Bye.